My name is Alicia Dupree. If I was not the one that invited you to this call, I'm super excited to meet you tonight and through the rest of the month. I've been a coach. August will be 4 years. The first 18 months or so was spent doing this totally on the side, couple hours a week, because I had no interest in ever doing this full time. As life evolves, my goals evolved and the needs for my family did. And I have been a full-time Beachbody coach since actually May 2 years ago. So this month is my 2-year anniversary of like the second phase of my business. I am going to have my third baby in 6 weeks, assuming she waits that long. But at some point you might not see me on a call, and that might be why. I'm super passionate about this stuff, and I know that Tracy and Juliet will say the same, about helping brand new coaches get a really good foundation to make this whatever they want. Something small on the side, something just for fun, or ultimately a 6-figure income. So super excited for this group. Juliet has been coaching a smidge longer than me.
I was going to say, wait, you're not, I think she was, oh, I'll sit, I won't say anything.
This is Juliet. She's married with 3 kids. She lives, go ahead. You can do it.
I have boxers, so I'm obsessed with dogs, but I've been coaching since 2015. And like Alicia, I was doing this actually to buy my Shakeology, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. But I had a full life of volunteering. I did rescue work for the boxers, which I still do all of that, but I was able to fit this in because I became extremely passionate about it. So like other women said, I'm pumped to be here with such a big group. I mean, I feel like we should say this is like, you guys are on the ground floor of this new workshop. We have never run a workshop like this with so many people at once. And I can't tell you how excited I am about it, because it's really exciting that all of you are going to be in it together. And as we all grow, it's going to be like, oh, remember we were in this together. And it's just going to be a really great connection that you guys are all going to make. So welcome everyone. I'm sure I have 1,000 other things to say, but you'll get to know me later. I'm sure I'll share it with you at some point.
Right. Okay, so that's awesome. Thank you guys. And we're not going to make you guys all go around and introduce yourselves. We considered that, but we were like, it might take a little bit too long because there's so many of you. On Thursday nights, Juliet's going to get into this a little bit. We're going to be meeting about an hour and 15 minutes because we're going to be working and coming together. But tonight we are going to get you guys off this call early, and it's Quentin's birthday, and we know that he is going to have cake. So we are not going to stay on for an hour and 15 minutes tonight. But I'm Tracy Baldorak, and my quick story is just I had 4 kids in 5 years, and after my 4th baby, I had a lot of weight to lose. And my friend is on this call now, Allison Harrell. She got married a year ago. I still want to call her maiden name, but Allison Harrell's on the call. She's a registered dietitian nutritionist. And I immediately took the bag of Shakeology to her and said, can I drink this when I'm nursing? I trust you. And not only has Allison become a coach because she stands behind the ingredients, but it's been really fun. We've been friends since 4th grade together, and we both bring different aspects to coaching, to what we do. And I've been able to make this a full-time job around the schedule of a very, very busy household with a bunch of kids. So I also am so passionate about teaching you guys how to use your gifts. Like, all of us come to the table with different gifts that have been innately created in us. And I love being able to work with people one-on-one and figure out what are your gifts and how can we marry those with what you can use coaching for in order to do your mission, do your calling in the world, right? And that's the really cool thing. That's when people are inspired and passionate. And that's when we have coaches that really stay with us and feel good about doing this for the long term. And that's ultimately what makes the culture of our team so dynamically special. So we do have a little PowerPoint just because we know a lot of you guys are visual, and we're hoping that this is going to help tune us out when we start talking too much about certain things where you can actually see it. So can you guys all see this slide? I cannot see you when I do it in this angle, but okay, perfect. So some of you guys may have received a new coach handbook. Some of you guys might have a copy of it. Some of you guys may have a PDF file. Some of you guys may be just using your own version of a a way to track everything. But when you're in these meetings, you're going to be learning a lot and hearing tidbits that you want to come back and put together. So have something that you can keep in your first month of coaching. I'll tell you this, and we're going to get into it a little bit more. It is like learning anything new, right? Like, you know, when you go to like whatever your first job was right out of school or right after you moved out of the house, like you go to a place and you don't know where the coffee machine is, you don't know where the bathroom is, you don't know where the copier is, you don't know any of those things. And you feel sort of like you're drinking out of a fire hose, right? And like 3 months later, you're like, that wasn't really that hard. You should expect that in coaching. Right? It is simple what we do, but you're doing something new. So if you set the expectation knowing that this is going to feel like a lot at times, take a step back, take a deep breath, and just know that every single time you're stretching, you're growing. And this is going to become second nature in no time.
Okay, am I muted?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, great. So as Tracy said, she said it perfectly, which she usually does. So these are the dates. They are in I have done the welcome post. They are also in there. So they're all going to take place on this Zoom. So kind of mark it down somewhere. Your Zooms usually will save it. So try to see if that. The calls are going to be an opportunity for you guys to ask questions. So definitely as you're going through training or going through things, write notes down somewhere so you can ask. You can also ask your PS coach, and that, you know, she can help you remind you and bring them up. But it's also going to be an introduction to a power hour. And that's where we a lot of times join together, because it's like, okay, we all have this hour. We can all knock out our invites. We can do, you know, schedule posts together. We can all kind of be together as a community, because that's what a lot of us also love about this coaching opportunity is the community. And again, it's the ability to connect with others. So you guys are all going to get to know each other a lot, which is really fun because it's a new group of people. It's a, you know, a new atmosphere. It's a new place that everyone's learning together. So as you feeling like, you know, you're that fire hose, as Tracy said, someone else is going to feel that as well. And it's a good place for you guys to say, hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed. You know, you're going to be talking with your PS coach about this anyways, but it's also a good place to say, I'm feeling overwhelmed and I would like to discuss X, Y, and Z. So that's what we really wanted to be open and free and let you guys, you know, vent. Obviously about the coaching opportunity, you know, you can talk to your PS coach about other things that are going on in your life, but will be, you know, for the coaching opportunity. Okay. So the to-dos. So your announcement, we kind of kept coming up with different names and kind of chuckling at names that we were coming up with. We thought this was, you know, your first post. We would like you guys to have that out. And again, you're going to be talking to your PS coach, but we want that to be up Sunday. The reason why we're choosing Sunday is there's certain times for social media and that's a training that we can talk about later, that it is a better time to put it up. Sunday nights, people are sitting on the couch, like Sunday evenings, usually scrolling through social media. So it's a really great time that you're going to get some traction. You're going to have your call with your PS coach scheduled right after, so we can talk about what to do with your likes and your loves and your cares and, you know, whatever else people are commenting. We're going to be able to help you with that. You should also have your list of 50 people or more, talking to you, Michelle. I won't throw you under the bus there and tell you how many you got out to make you, you know, look like you don't want other people to feel less, but your list that you're going to be going to, and you're going to be using that to invite. Again, you're also going to be using that to invite with your, the post that you're coming out with. So that's the list that you're really going to be able to go and talk to people about your journey and, you know, having them join you. You're going to be going through the first 4 modules of the new coach training that should be completed already. If you're a little bit behind because you just joined, I know some people just joined, take a breath. Don't worry. You're not going to get an F. You're not going to fail anything. No one's going to call you out, make fun of you. Just take a breath. You will be fine. Go at your pace. Talk to your PS coach if you're feeling overwhelmed. And then modules 5 through 12, if you can complete that by Thursday, the 14th, that would be great. Because then when we come back on the call, you'll have everything done. You should have some questions there. And it shouldn't take you that long. It's like 2.5 hours total of the training. So the second half is going to be less than the first half.
Okay, are there any questions? I'm going to actually unshare for a second just to see. I don't know how to unshare. There we go. Anybody have any questions so far?
I know I talk fast, so I apologize.
I just want to put it out there. PS, guys, is personally sponsored. So it's the coach that invited you here. We are all a team. Anyone can ask any coach on our team anything. However, there's probably a comfort level built with the person that invited you, and they're the one that's going to be doing the one-on-one calls with you. And so I want to put that out there in case that confused anybody.
Questions. the modules. I have done two things. One was a document that had all the different links on it. And the other was the two units in Faithfully Fit page. Which one are you talking about when you say modules 1 through 12?
So in Faithfully Fit new coach training in that Facebook group.
So I think that, but it's probably the same, someone maybe sent you the Google Doc, which probably has the same thing. It just doesn't look like it's modules. If you go into the new coach training, it will explain it in the units at the top. It will have actually where you see, and we're called, the modules are like units. But it's, you're talking about the same thing. I'm assuming.
Okay, so I went through, I think it was a Google Doc where I just went through and clicked on all the links and read the different write-ups, but I didn't see it in the new coach workshop.
Okay, I'm going to show you right now.
Yeah, I definitely confused. Well, Tracy's pulling that up. I definitely confused. Vivian's laughing because she's like, I'm sorry. I'm normally better at this. And I'm like, no, I just tagged you in like 15 things. So each team page has that Google Doc. It is the same exact content as in the new coach training. It's just broken up in a more consumable way because it's like unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. So if you did the Google Doc, great. If you've done the new coach training, great. There's no shortage of training. It's actually overwhelming at times, but those are the same. If you did the Google Doc, at one point it says, stop and talk to your personally sponsored coach, talk about your first post. That's where we wanted you to be by the call, if you could tonight. And then the back half of training that Tracy can walk you through right now.
Yeah, so you're up to the 4. That 4 one is where you're doing the coach post,
right.
Or your first post.
We have a virtual admin for our team. So some people were sent a Facebook group and some people were sent a Google Doc. And this is the Facebook group. This is actually the easiest interface if you're a visual learner. So if you come to the new coach training, you guys, and you click on units at the top here, it starts you off at unit 1. Here you go. There's 2 posts in unit 1. Then you got challenge groups, right? So all of you guys should be through unit 4, and unit 5 is having a success club mentality, which we're going to tee up for you tonight. Okay, does that help you?
And all of you that have started tonight, you'll get that, you'll be caught up. So don't stress about it.
Okay, you're in. So here we go, Suzanne. You're good. There you are. You're like, no wonder I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't in the group. Okay, so I think we're all set there. See, we're still having hiccups as we sort of work through all of this. But the cool thing is it's only 2 hours and training's not rocket science. What we do is not rocket science. So let's talk a little bit more about becoming a coach. So I would say 35 pounds later, right? My journey has gone up and down, right? I actually just gained 12 pounds not too long ago because my whole first floor has been under renovation. So it's been really cool is that everybody who's been watching me on social media for the past 5.5 years that I've been coaching, I really just had this vulnerable moment where I'm like, here I am, gained 12 pounds, been eating out of a microwave, trying to feed 4 kids since August, and we still don't have a kitchen. Actually, we just got it 3 weeks ago. So I've been doing that journey. But more importantly, with the physical journey that you're going to have that goes up and down, because that's just fitness for you, is your journey on transforming as a human being, right? Changing as a person. And Alicia's going to talk a lot about that, but our team is one that really tries to help each other hone in on what limiting belief are you having that's holding yourself back. And so you're going to hear your coach talk to you a lot about eliminating the limiting beliefs that are causing you to not push yourself in all areas of your life. And every coach on our team will tell you that coaching has enabled them to be better in other areas of their life because they're not having limiting beliefs. So here's an example of like a self-perpetuating cycle, right? You take action. You put your first post up. Let's say you put your first post up sometime between now and Sunday, and it doesn't get the response that you were hoping for in social media, and you don't get as much dialogue or any likes, or the comments don't happen, or maybe you think more people should be engaging, and all of a sudden you start telling yourself things like, I probably shouldn't be a coach. See, it's not working. I'm not getting as many. I met this person in the new coach workshop, and we've been connecting, and she got a bunch of comments and I got none, so she's going to be a better coach than I am, right? That kind of stuff can happen sometimes, and what that enables you to do is you're telling yourself a story that is not true. It's red light thinking, and it stops you from taking any more action. And so the only difference between Alicia, myself, and Juliet, other than the fact we've been coaching longer than you guys, is that we fall into this cycle here where we take action, and trust me, we are great at taking action, and trust me, we fail a lot. We fall forward, we don't get the responses that we want, or we don't ask something the right way, or we have a challenge group that goes stale and nobody's really involved in the challenge group or commenting, or you ask somebody to be a coach and they tell you no. Or here's a good one. I cannot tell you how many times I did these exact same kind of calls with new coaches in my first couple of years, and no one showed up. I expected maybe 4 or 5 people. No one showed up. And guess what? I did the call anyway and recorded it because that was practice, right? So it's a matter of how you perceive the failures that can happen and where your mindset is in terms of what it's causing from a limiting belief standpoint. So we want to help you push aside the limiting beliefs because that's really how you grow. So first and foremost, you are part of, you might hear the word MLM. It's a multi-level marketing. One of the cool things that you're going to learn, not tonight, but in a few Thursdays that we're going to kind of talk a little bit more about when we get into compensation, is the fact that it's not one person at the top of the chain and you get in a little bit later and you're not going to make any money. Anybody can make any amount of money. And the cool thing is that you and the coach that invited you, you guys are partnered. So when your coach is doing well and making money, so are you. So the great thing is that it's very binary, it's up and down. And so that should get you really proud because not many other MLMs have that kind of structure. But you want to, as of tonight, know that you're a business owner. You made an investment in a challenge pack. You're trying the products, you're working on yourself, and you are having this mentality that you're going to kick off a business. And so we're going to teach you what that means. And you're a leader. You know why? Because every single one of you took that first step for yourself and you are leading yourself. If you don't have a team yet, or maybe you've got 1 or 2 people, you are a leader just by saying yes to yourself. So have those 3 mentalities, write them down, put them in your workspace, affirm them to yourself because those are going to help you down the road.
Okay, I am so excited to talk about this. When we were like, oh, what should we talk about? I'm like, give me the personal development section. I'm a little bit nerdy about this stuff. And the reason is, and it goes exactly with what Tracy just said. You might have gotten to this part in the training, but there are 4 vital behaviors that coaches are required to do to be successful. There's no formal job description. We're all independent. Tracy is not my boss. She is my coach. I am not anybody's boss. That's the beauty of it. And my favorite part is that Beachbody is so passionate about making sure that we are working on ourselves, right? It's all this fitness and nutrition, but like the brain and that muscle is the one that you guys need to be working on all the time. And I'm not talking about like Beachbody training. I'm talking about unrelated to Beachbody podcasts, books, conferences that you can attend. There is such a need to continue to better yourself. And not because where you are is not great, but there's so much information out there. And I know a lot of people on this call already feel passionate about that, which is awesome. We're all coming in with different gifts, as Tracy said. Some people might feel more confident than others. Some people might feel like leaders. Some people might feel like they're kind of held back by fear, right? The great news is that collectively our team has read so many books. We've listened to so many podcasts. And so we're going to sit down and say, okay, great. What are those limiting beliefs that you're feeling? I'm a little bit afraid to do this, or I'm not seeing the results that I thought, or I'm a little bit nervous about this big goal. I don't want to tell anybody. Like, we've got a book for that. And the cool thing is that we can share, hey, listen, take a look at this, take a look at that, versus prescribing like a one size fits all personal development solution, because we're all coming in at different spots. And so, Sam might not need the same book that Deanna might benefit from, and Vivian might want a book that's different than what Trisha's currently reading, and that's okay. That's how it's designed. So I'm super excited that this is part of what we do as a team. Tracy mentioned this, taking action is the only way to get results, and we have failed a lot. And Tracy has failed the most on this call because she's been doing this the longest. And Tracy has gifted Juliet and I with her hindsight and said, hey, look at this post that I did. This is a group that I tried to run. Here's what I would have done differently. So it's sped our growth up a little bit. And we hope to do the same for you. It doesn't mean you're not going to fail. It just hopefully you fail a little quicker and you can get up a little faster so that you can find what works for you. Because what works for Tracy doesn't always work for me. And what works for Juliet doesn't always work for me, right? You've all taken the Enneagram by this point. We're all created a little bit differently. And we joke about it all the time because like Tracy and I are more similar from an Enneagram standpoint, and Juliet like has to reel us in sometimes and vice versa. And it's like, it's actually made for a really dynamic team, but like the Enneagram is a great example. That's not a Beachbody thing. That's not a Beachbody product, but that is a way to develop yourself in the leadership area so that you can learn more about, and it will ooze into every other aspect of your life. There's no question. So
and you will
cool
hear about the Enneagram like every single week that we have a call. So you'll learn more about it.
Yes. The cool thing is that a lot of this personal development will inspire you to create posts that are, again, not Beachbody related. We're going to talk a lot about social media a little bit tonight, but more on the one-on-ones. And then we'll probably do a focus on one of the Thursday calls. But social media is either a really great, comfortable thing for people, or it scares them right now. And that's also okay, right? Everyone has different comfort levels. Everyone has been on different platforms for a different amount of time. The cool thing is that this personal development gets you thinking. And a lot of times I get inspired to post something that I learned in my personal development that has nothing to do with Beachbody. For those that follow me, probably know that I have boys, I hate to cook, I love donuts and wine, and I also happen to be a Beachbody coach. So I post about those things. Not every post is about Beachbody. You should not be doing that. It's icky. We don't want that. And people don't follow me because of Beachbody. They follow me because of my brand. And again, we're going to talk about how to develop that. But Tracy just put together a couple posts that showcase like different intro posts or ways to like talk about, like Brandy, who's got the cake in front of her. I'm sure she was saying something about like her nutrition, and it's probably around the holiday time, right? Amanda on the left is talking about how consistency is key, and she might be asking people to join her for something. She might just be putting it out there saying, be consistent, and that's it, and not asking anyone to do anything. There's not a one size fits all solution. Elise is talking about her live workout that she did. I happen to have a donut, and I'm like, I'm here if you need me, right? I'm not necessarily asking for people to do something. I'm doing my best to provide value and serve. And we'll talk about this, but your goal should be to serve, add value, add value, add value. And then, hey, you want to be in a group? Add value, add value, add value. Hey, I'm doing this free group, this free water challenge, this free, summer salad group where I'm offering free recipes, right? The goal is that between, and Juliet's going to talk about this in a second, but between the brand you're establishing and the value that you're adding on social media, plus the list of 50 or so that you have come into this training with or will be developing by the call next week, is that you're going to get to a point where your goal is Success Club. And Juliet's going to talk about Success Club and what that means and why it's so critical.
Okay, let's stop for one quick second because we're about ready to move off social media. So does anybody want to ask a question or share anything about their upcoming post, or has anyone already done their post and they're feeling really good about how it went and wants to encourage the group?
Maybe Melissa, I don't know, I'm not going to call on her, but just if she
happens first call, everyone's always so quiet. Yeah.
Can you actually talk about how you were surprised with some of the responses? I think that might be valuable for everybody.
Wait, is Melissa the other 8?
Yes.
Yeah. Ha ha. Sorry.
This is what 8s do, guys. They just like take us all off course.
I was the only number. There was no other 8s anywhere in the any. And so I was the only one. And then Melissa came in. So I don't know Melissa, but I know she's the 8. So
yeah, well, no, I was shocked. I put it up. Alicia told me to put it up. I'm like, when? She's like, tomorrow. I said, okay. So I put it up. Well, actually, I thought about putting the post up for, I don't know, how long did I text you about it? Like 2 hours. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I had a whole post sent in a Google Doc to her for her to look at. 6 a.m. She says, pick a picture. I couldn't pick a picture, and I redid the whole post. And I made it about why I couldn't find a picture. And it was my personal journey. And I was floored. I got so many responses from people I haven't talked to in 15 years, to people that I talk to every day. So I was shocked. It was really good. I got what do I have now? 5 or 6 people that signed up since yesterday. So it was It was very nice. And I did not get one negative comment. So
Yeah,
that was
I
really
think the quote you used was, "I'm going to throw up. I feel like I'm going to throw up." And
I did.
that is actually a good sign. That means you just stepped out of your comfort zone. And you also said, "I'm cool with social media. I'll post whatever." But when it came down to it, you
Oh
were like,
yeah.
I just got really vulnerable. And
I live on social media. Like I love social media. I have for a while. It's like obnoxious sometimes. And then I couldn't hit post for
Yeah.
like probably 5 minutes, but I did. And it was awesome. I had 3 people just tonight text me saying how amazing it was and that they're not ready to sign up for anything, but they thought it was amazing that I posted that and it took vulnerability, which I thought was really nice. So it was not just helping them, it was helping me too.
That's very cool.
Give everyone your name so they can go stare at your post when we hang up.
Melissa Schaefer.
That's right. Or hover your little mouse
to say,
over her face. Yeah, and you'll see her name.
I do want to add something, and I'm going to be short. I will be short because I'm going to be respectful of your time. It's whether, just like Melissa said, even if you're comfortable on social media or not comfortable on social media, you want to feel a little uncomfortable, right? If you don't feel uncomfortable, it's easy. And why do you want to go through life easy? You want to grow yourself. And when you grow yourself, it's when you're in those situations where you're uncomfortable because you're like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. But that's when the beauty of things happen, when you're uncomfortable and you do something out of your comfort zone. So I really want all of you thinking about that. If you're not feeling uncomfortable when you do it, you need to change it a little bit. And if you're feeling so uncomfortable, just take a breath. And I'm sorry if no one drinks on here, but maybe have a glass of wine before you do it. And I'm not pushing alcohol. This is not what this is about. But sometimes you just need to like let your nerves down because try to think about talking to a friend, not thinking about talking to the person that you think is going to give you shit, right? Talk to your best friend. Your best friend's going to say, you know what, this is awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And also think about the people you're going to help behind that post. The people that are like, oh my God, she just did something that I never thought I could do. I'm very curious of what she's doing. And you're going to help that person. And that's what should drive you. And I know that's hard because some of you are going to be like, well, I don't, whatever. But that's what drives me every time I do a post. I'm like, who am I helping? And sometimes I throw them up sometimes. I mean, Elise knows there's times I was like, oh, that was the worst post. I just wanted to get something out there. So I just put something silly up. That's going to happen too. But those are the times that you grow. Okay. And then I'm
real quick. I wanted to just say one of the comments that somebody made to me, because I think I didn't realize how confident I look out to the outside world. And somebody was like, well, of course, I could not believe how vulnerable you were in that post. Cause I was like, I think I said something about me, like not feeling comfortable in the second picture. And they're like, we never thought you didn't feel comfortable. I'm like, are you kidding? Like I've cried in my closet because I ate too much. You know what I mean? So that was a nice addition. It made them think that it was more attainable and human.
Yeah. And some of you guys are starting your own health and wellness journey on day one that you're also starting to coach. And I want to encourage you guys that the vulnerability of putting yourself out there at the same time when you're not where you want to be from a fitness standpoint, there is an element of people who all of a sudden will be cheering you on and they'll be like, if she can do this, I can do this. And they're going to want to do it with you. I'm somebody that really didn't understand coaching. So I actually had my transformation first and then I went out there. But again, guys, there's been highs and lows in my emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, like feeling good, feeling a little low. And I share that on social media and I share it to a level where I'm comfortable. Of course, I don't share everything, but we will talk a lot about social media. Go look at her at Jen's post. I need to go look at Jen's post, but I'm sure Melissa, I'm sorry. If people are telling you, I actually just signed a girl up named Jen Schaefer. So that's why she's in my head. She should be on this call, but she's not. So we're going to talk a lot about social media. Some of you are going to get comfortable quicker than others. And the other point I want to tell you, Melissa just is a self-proclaimed love social media girl. So she's on social media already, which means her algorithm, which you guys, some of you may not even know, there is an algorithm in social media. Her algorithm is already high. So I want you guys to know that if you're someone who's not really on social media yet, part of you posting is going to be us teaching you how to get your algorithm to a place where it's going to show more people. So what happens sometimes is a brand new coach who's not really on social media puts her post up and she's like, well, my post didn't do as well as Melissa's. Well, Melissa's on social media. She's got a better algorithm than you. So trust us, we're going to teach you all of those things, but it goes back to the mindset. Are you going to tell yourself a story that, you know, you're not meant for this because 2 people liked your post and you didn't get anybody? Or are you going to be like, you know what? This is a free platform. None of us pay anything for Instagram or Facebook, and it's free. And for those of you that think you're going to just start posting and all of a sudden you're going to build this business, it's a free platform, but we got to work the business. So we're going to teach you all of those things. So I just want to make sure when your post goes up, if it isn't what you thought it was going to be, make sure you're keeping your mindset green light thinking, not red light thinking. Okay, Juliet.
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Juliet, I'm coming right to you. The last thing I wanted to point out about Melissa's post specifically was the first person that commented, she sent me a text on the side and was like, oh, this is my super negative cousin. She's not going to ever buy anything. I'm like, okay. She just bought something today. And Melissa was like, I can't believe it. So again, when we think about the people who are most likely to be interested, least likely to be interested, you have to keep an open mind.
Because you never know.
You will be surprised because you will tell yourself a narrative. Oh, this person, she doesn't have any money, or this person has a ton of money. It has nothing to do with money. It's perceived value at the time that that person needs it. And so that is something that you guys might be surprised with. The other thing, and I'm glad that you mentioned this, Tracy, because I had this written down and forgot. If you are not where you want to be and you're in the midst of your transformation, people want to see the during. They don't want to see the after. They want to see the during. They want to be with you. And that is like, I probably started halfway through my transformation, so I didn't have people with me the whole time. And I make sure that 4 years into my transformation, I'm reminding people of where I started, because I've got people that only know me as a coach.
Yeah.
which
So I was
not where I started.
That was perfect. So I was going to say, Melissa, you want to save that post because you want to recycle it later on, because people are not going to all see. And just like Alicia and Tracy said, I started because I didn't think I was going to be coaching. So I took like the silliest picture. It's like in an old nursing bra. I had stopped nursing like 4 years before. And I had like pants, like shorts that I was giving to Goodwill. And that's my before picture. And it's the only before picture I have.
I had the one girl who bought something from me. That was the second person. I haven't talked to her in 15 years. And long story short is, again, she goes, I said, what are you interested in? What are your goals? Yada, yada. She said, everything. Literally signed up for everything I told her. I was like, that's what I kept telling Alicia. I could not believe it.
Because
So
they
I
say
was
that
definitely
you're doing
taken
something
back.
and that you have a better mindset. And that's the thing. People want mindset. They want community. They want someone helping them get to that spot. So I love that. But definitely save that post so you can go back, put it in your notes with those pictures, and then you're going to recycle it. And Alicia can walk you through that. But you want to do it so you can find it instead of scrolling through a year later and being like, where did I put that?
Yeah.
Because that's frustrating. Trust me. Okay, Success Club. I'm just going to start talking as you go up. So this is a non-negotiable mindset. Okay, Success Club. When you go into every month, you start every month with, I am helping 3 people. Okay, so some of you are sitting there going, I'm not a salesperson. I'm so nervous about this. Some of the most successful Beachbody coaches are not salespeople, and they're introverts. But they have had huge transformations, whether it's in their mind, whether it's in their body, wherever, and they want to help other people. So that's what I want you guys to remember. You are not selling shakes. You're not selling bars. You're not a salesperson. You are selling a total body opportunity. You're selling a community. You are selling, and I don't want to even say the word, you're sharing a community, you're sharing a product, but you're also, sharing coaching and the accountability. There's so much more than just everything behind it. So again, I know it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to sell, but think about how you feel on day one, or if you've been doing this for a month, and how much better, whether it was at 3 o'clock, you had no energy, you couldn't help your kids, or you were working and you by the end of the day, you were like looking for that sugar and you couldn't imagine, and your mind was just in a real like gross spot. And you've been doing this for a month and you're like, oh my gosh, I have like a skip, like a little pep in my step. What a dork, but you know what I mean? And you're just feeling so good about yourself and just feeling great. That's what you want to help other people with. So when you go into each month, you're thinking about those 3 people, 3 plus, So 3 is going to be, and I don't want to get too detailed, but helping 3 people is called Success Club 6. Okay. And we don't want you guys memorizing this because you're going to talk to your personally sponsored coach. When you are talking to your, your people on your list of 50 or the people that have responded to some of your social media posts, you're going to be asking them questions. Hey, what do you struggle most with? Are you craving sugar, or is it the energy? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to tone up? All those different things. So if a person comes to you and says, I just need workouts, you're not going to just send them a year of bod, right? You're going to find what else they need and you're going to pair it together. So these are all our consumables. So that's what you're going to do. Shakeology is the most popular, but some people, really need bars and they don't need shakes, or they need the performance line, or they want all of them. Like Melissa just said, she had someone that bought everything because these products are so clean and so healthy. That's the other thing. There's not chemicals. They're not bad for people. And so that's what you want to go into thinking about that. Right. So I had all these notes written down and I can't even read them. So I'm just going to go, and then these girls can fill in as they go. But so when you go into each month, you're going to be thinking about that 3 people that you want to help. And it is a non-negotiable. Okay. Even if you're at the, mid month and you're like, no one is wanting this. No one's wanting this. Then you just keep going down your list and you keep inviting, you keep sharing your experiences. You keep talking to people about the opportunity. And again, it is we're providing the total the total solution. So it's workouts, it's a consumable, but it's also the community, right? Girls, do you want to add anything here really quickly?
I think you did great.
Okay, I had more notes, but I don't want to go anymore because I feel like I'm repeating myself. But so that's
your module 5 is about Success Club. So you're going to hear us in module 5 talk a little bit more about that. And then your coach in your one-on-one is going to talk more about it. And then we're probably going to talk about Success Club for the rest of the Thursdays we're together. And I'm going to talk a little bit about becoming an Emerald, which is also going to be part of your training. Has anyone gotten through all of the training yet? By show of hands, is anybody done? Let's see. Mary's done. Julie's done. Kristen, wow, good job. Okay, so I just want to make sure if anybody was listening, and I'm not using a slide for this one. So one of the things, again, that your coach is going to talk to you about is, look, some of you guys on the Enneagram, if you are certain numbers, you're probably that person that's like, okay, what are my goals? What do I need to do? What makes me somebody that is really good at this job right off the bat, right? Some of you guys want those clear expectations. So Emerald is the first rank advancement in your business. So your compensation increases as your rank increases, and as your rank increases, your volume increases and your team increases. So the first promotion, and we actually had 2 new Emerald coaches on our team today. One of them is Trisha, who's actually whoop, whoop, whoop on the screen. So that's amazing. And so what's really cool about Emerald is it's signing up 2 coaches. That's it. One on your left leg and one on your right leg. So if you think of yourself at the top of your new business, and you'll come up with your team name at some point, you have a left leg and a right leg, and you're going to learn a ton about that because those 2 legs are going to generate volume, and that's how you create residual income. Okay? Initially, you guys are just all going to make commission on your sales. So when you are all by yourself, Quentin starts today, and Yvette is starting, and Kristen Jordan is starting. You're all by yourself. You're basically sharing your journey, but you are selling and making commission because you're all by yourself. When you have 2 coaches on your team, you are now officially a business because you are now officially eligible for what we call team cycle bonus, and that's residual income. Okay. And your residual income grows as your volume grows. And it's really exciting. Everyone's first residual income paycheck is $14. And so we make a big deal when the first person makes their first $14 because you didn't help anybody that week, but you still found $14 in your direct deposit. Right. And that number is going to keep growing, and it's awesome to have residual income. And so you're not even eligible for that until you become an Emerald coach. Now, to become an Emerald, you pick 2 people. All right. Personally, I picked my husband and my sister-in-law. That's how I became an Emerald coach. My husband's account has nothing to do with him. He's not a Beachbody coach, so to speak. He uses all the products, but it's like a secondary business center for me, and it generates income 5.5 years later. That's very significant to my overall compensation. Elise on this call has her friend Angela that she knew in Brooklyn, and her mom. Okay. Juliet has her husband and her uncle, right? Trisha brought 2 of her friends in to become Emerald. Some people go and they ask 2 neighbors, right? So it really just depends. But if you are part of a family and you know that your spouse wants to do something with you, it's not a bad idea to bring on your spouse account, because there is strategy in being able to have influence over one of those accounts. Like Elise has influence over her mom's account. The account is linked to Elise's bank account, right? Elise controls that account. But a lot of people also just bring on, I know my 2 best friends from college, or my next door neighbor, or my friend from work is always wanting to do challenges with me. I'm going to ask her to do this and run a group with me. So there's a multitude of different ways for you to become an Emerald coach. But I always say to my brand new coaches, becoming an Emerald is making a decision. You make a list of 50 people. You're like, who could this opportunity bless? I'm feeling so good. Who would want to do this with me? Who do I want to spend more time with? And you make a decision to talk to those people about the opportunity. And when you bring on 2 coaches, you now have a team. You're now eligible for Team Cycle bonus. And when you marry that with what Juliet talked about, when you're an Emerald coach and you're hitting Success Club 6 every month, which is bringing on 3 people, when you see the ads on Beachbody that say like, oh, text this number and you can get a free bod, or you see an infomercial, or you buy a Wahoo heart monitor and you get a free Beachbody On Demand membership with it, all of those names, you guys, go into a funnel, and those names are given to Emerald coaches who hit Success Club the month before. Okay. So now you're also getting people who need a coach. And so it's pretty amazing how many, over the course of 5.5 years, how many people that are on our team now or in my challenge groups, or who've been long-term challengers because they were just assigned to me and I reached out to them, and some of them I reach out to 3, 4, 5, 6 times before they're like, okay, I kind of do need a coach. I thought I could do it alone. I was ignoring your emails. I need a coach. And they're a major part of my challenge groups, right? So you've got to figure out a way to go Emerald. Your coach will help you come up with a strategy. Lots of benefits that go with Emerald. We celebrate it big time. Trisha Cushing, put your cursor over her name. You can go read about her hitting that marker in her business today. We celebrate it big because that's one of our vitals. We celebrate every little thing, that happens in our business. So,
Grace, can I say one thing, and you might have hit on it, but when Tracy's saying you're bringing someone on as a coach, it's someone that's using the product and they're getting a discount. It's not like you're just saying, hey, come and do this and they're not using anything. So it's, you're not wasting it. You're helping them become better, and then they're just also saving money, if that makes sense. And you might have said that and I might have tuned out and I didn't hear it.
No, I didn't. But like my 70-year-old mom is a coach because every coach gets the 25% discount. So you got
my mom and dad too. Yeah. They both use technology, and so they're coaches because I want to save them money, right? And it's like, if you opened a storefront, right? You have a store, you open it, you're going to call all the people that you know to, hey, can you come and support my storefront and try my products and stuff? It's the same sort of thing, right? But this is going to be helping people beyond, because it's helping with their fitness and their health and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, and also another clarification, because a lot of people get confused. Like, so if I bring on a coach, is it someone that has to work the business? No, I was actually a coach for months and months and months, just because I was like, I am not paying $129 for a bag. There is no way I'm paying that. And as I continued to use the products and as I continued to get results, by like month 4 or 5, somebody was like, hey, I want to do what you're doing. And I kept referring them to my coach's coach. And finally, she was like, you should just do it on your own. And after all the excuses in the world about why I couldn't do it, I started talking to a bunch of people that wanted to do it. And they just came right on as coaches, not to do what I do today, but because they're like, I want it at a discount. How can I get it the cheapest? So you can build your organization. You can become an Emerald coach with 2 people that are like, I'm with you. I'll be in your groups. I don't want to post on social media, but I do love these products. And that's fine. We all matter, right? Every coach matters. Alicia, you want to pipe in real quick?
No, I was going to ask if there was any questions about that and then move on to close us out. So any questions about that? Because the term coach, I mean, half the people on this call I know have been coaches for a long time purely for the discount. A coach is a coach. And if you decide to do something with the business, great. And if not, that's great too. So you're all on the call because you've decided it is worth my time to learn how to do this job and see what I can get going in the next 30 days. So that's why we talk about Emeralds, because if you just wanted to casually sell shakes as needed, this wouldn't be worth your time. So that's why it's important. We're going to talk about all that one-on-one and figure out what timeline makes sense for you. Some of you are going to be like, okay, I want to do it by the weekend. Others are like, I'm going to let it happen as it happens. Again, it's also okay because we all come into this business at different speeds. And some of you guys are going to want to run and we'll run with you. And some of you guys are going to walk. That's great too. And some of you guys are going to just be in the middle. And the reason we're doing this together is because we're hoping that as May ends, we're going to have different pockets of people. And we've already built some relationships so we can have a crew of runners and apply training to those that are running. And there is no shame. I have been a walker, a jogger, and a runner multiple times throughout my 4 years. And Juliet and Tracy can say the same. So any questions about that before we move on?
I will say, anybody who's Emerald by this time next Thursday, because Emerald coaches, your rank advancements happen on Thursday, you are going to be getting some serious shout outs. All right, let's move on, okay? This is the last slide and we can close it out. Let me put it so everybody can read it. There you go.
And guys, we'll share all this too in the coach or the workshop page on Facebook. So if you wanted to jot things down, if you haven't, you'll be able to see all this. So what do we do now, right? This is a little bit of a checklist for you. So we talked about PD, personal development, right? Because if you're not growing as a person, it's hard for you to coach others. Doesn't mean you need to be at your destination, but you've got to be working on yourself, right? That's contagious. If you are not already committed to a workout program, let's pick one because you need to be a product of the product. That is another vital behavior that you might have read about already. It is going to be really hard for you to convince anyone to do what you're doing if you're not consuming any of our products and you're not doing our workouts. If you're like, I don't drink this stuff or eat this stuff and I don't do these workouts, but come work out with me, like it's never going to work, right? Announce if you haven't already about you taking this step. I'm sure all of us will recommend, we don't say, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach, or we don't say, hey, here's Shakeology, right? You can feature products, but we're going to speak in a little bit more general terms, not to hide anything, but we want to create some curiosity. So that's why if you want our help with your first post, we're happy to. So if you haven't done that, we'll get that done. We want you to continue posting at whatever pace you're used to doing. And if it's not a pace that you think is like fast enough, we can talk about that too. But as I mentioned before, people are working with you, right? There is a reason why all of you guys chose to work with one of us. You probably know other Beachbody coaches, right? Because it's not about Beachbody, it's about you, or it's about me. And it's important that you keep establishing that brand. If you're using Instagram, stories, obviously, as you can probably already tell, are huge. If you're not on Instagram, we can talk about a strategy to get you more active there. We've talked about social media because that's a great platform. And of course, the more you post, the more you're going to impact and the more people are going to know what you're doing. But there's an art in like talking to people in general. And even if it's a virtual conversation, the conversations need to be genuine. So like, hey girl, I haven't talked to you in 100 years. Do you want to buy my shakes? Like that's icky to receive. We've all probably been on the receiving end of those conversations. That's not what we want. We're going to teach you how to start genuine conversations, impacting people and leveraging those relationships. We also want you to not forget about the people you already have relationships with. Sometimes that's harder for people. I feel like you'll probably fall into one of two groups. You're either more afraid to talk to those you know, or you're more afraid to talk to strangers. We're going to get you to a point where you feel comfortable doing it in an authentic way that is not coming across as salesy, pushy, anything but authentic. We talked about Emerald. We want you to print your memory jogger, start making that list. I would advise you as you're making that list, don't think about what they might say. Actually, assume they're going to say, yes, thank you so much. Here is my money. Like, think about the people that you know would benefit from these products, the workouts, the nutrition, the shakes, some combination of all of them. If they wouldn't say no, and you know they could be helped by this or improve some part of their life, write their name down. We'll talk about how we're going to approach them, but don't count people out, as we talked about, too soon. There's a lot of Facebook groups, and I promise you will not be in as many once this training is over. This is designed specifically for this training. Faithfully Fit, which is Tracy's team, of which Julia and I are part of, There's a bigger team page. Juliet and I both have our individual team pages. Again, there's a Beachbody. There's like 5 pages that Beachbody offers. So we just want to make sure you're in a group that is going to be aligned with the goals that you have. And we oftentimes run groups like this for people that want to push. We run groups of people that just want to procure information at their own pace. So there is something for everybody, but we want you to get to know your team and then attend team calls. Aside from the ones that we're having in May, Tracy runs calls for her team, and anyone in Tracy's organization can attend. And Juliet and I also run smaller calls for our team as well. But that's a lot we threw out at you. We want to stop it here because at some point there's like diminishing return on the amount of info that you can receive in one Thursday night. Any questions, like immediate questions, I'm sure as things digest, I would expect that you would be reaching out to any of us for questions. So you don't need to ask them right now, but is there anything that came up as a result of anything you heard that we want to address before we hang up?
Real quick, I wanted to ask something, not that it has to be addressed tonight, but like I would like to know the differences of like Instagram and Facebook.
Sure. Yeah, we actually, we have ideas, of course, on content and how we want to roll things out, but I was going to ask you all either real time now or talk to the coach that invited you here, because we want to know what order in which you feel like there's the most urgent need for. If it's like, all right, we all just posted, but we need to know a little bit more about social media, that can be our first topic for next week. Or maybe it's follow-up, or maybe it's people that said no, or maybe it's like, I'm just freaking out, I'm a little bit afraid to do it all, right? Like, if there is a topic, we're going to cover everything we feel you need to know. But if you guys have a specific urgency around something, so is anyone else on the social media train wants to hear that? Because we'll cover it. Just, okay, a couple others.
Just one.
And the thing is, guys, you're gonna hear things and you're gonna forget them. You have to hear them like 1,000 times. I mean, I still sometimes ask, and because I forget. So don't feel silly about it. I mean, that's one thing, is all of us, this is a safe place. There's no stupid question. Like, seriously, like my kids ask 1,000 questions. I ask 1,000 questions. The way I learn is by asking questions. So I will ask 1,000,000 times until I understand it. And I'm an 8, so my brain works differently than most people. So I'm just saying, don't feel like, oh, this is a silly question, I'm not going to ask it. Because if you have it, someone else is going to have it.
Totally. So social media, we'll jot down for sure. Thank you. Anything else? We'll definitely hit on compensation. That's something I wanted to learn about, just to understand it. And it's a pretty robust, there's a lot of ways to make money, which is great. And it takes a while to understand that. So between volume, retail commission, what rank advancements really mean, we're certainly going to hit on that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of friends that already do Beachbody, and so I'd love ideas on just how to talk to them about, you know, how they might want to get more involved, or I just help on the words. Even I have a couple friends that might be interested in starting the shakes or the workouts. Just, I read all the materials online, but it's easier just if some of you can share, here's a few sentences you might want to say to a friend like that.
Yes.
That's great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And Kristen, you're going to get that tomorrow with Pam and your one-on-one when you do that, but we will talk about that a lot, because there's a lot of things where, like, you might talk to someone who does Beachbody, but what does that mean, right? So we're going to give you the questions to ask them. Does it mean they have a coach? Are they already in a challenge group? Did they just get assigned to a coach? They haven't heard of anybody. Are they in a 3-month membership? Do they even know that they have a membership? So we're going to help you with questions like that. That's a great question.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. From what I'm hearing on my end, is inviting, how to approach and how to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, warm market versus cold market. And that's something I've been talking about, but I'm still hearing that that's the challenge.
Okay, cool.
I wanted to know the difference between the left and the right leg at some point.
Okay.
Because I watched that Emerald video today, and I get the beginning, but the left and the right leg was, as soon as you got to team cycle bonus, I was done. I couldn't understand it. So
Okay. And that is very normal. It is very, very normal. Samantha has been coaching less than 4 months, and She's had a few aha moments. And again, it's not that it's super complicated, but I will say one thing our team is really good at is helping you with a little bit more advanced strategy on how to design your business early on, because that sets you up for 2 years down the road to be in a place where you're maximizing your volume. So we sort of throw you guys in the fire. We're like, I know, like I've been whiteboarding with Samantha so that she can visually see it. And it's also like, okay, this is what it looks like now. This is what it's going to look like in a year. This is what it can look like in 2 years. But you've got to know where you're going to strategically put people. If not, it could mean 10, 20, 30, 50 grand for some people, depending on how fast they're running, if they are not thinking through and having a plan on where they're going to put people. It's the same thing, having a plan about your month. You look at the summer. When are your challenge groups going to be run? What program are you going to do? What are you going to be talking about on social media? So we're going to talk to you guys. That's a little bit more 2.0. Right now, just find out from your coach what I should be inviting to. There's a lot of coaches on this team, May 18th, that are running like a free 5-day group. That might be something great for you to invite to, and then your coach can help you run it, and it warms you up for how to run an actual longer term challenge group. So we're going to keep it very basic for you guys right now, but you will learn how to do like a full marketing plan, and you will learn left and right leg strategy. And there's also inside out leg, outside leg, but we're like, it just gets fun. It gets really fun to figure it out, but
I'm still learning that part. I've been coaching since 2015.
That's one of the questions Juliet asks. And I know there are no stupid questions, but I'm like, get a pen. Let's write this down. Let's just like record this. So this is where my 3 comes out.
And my brain just does not want to grasp it. It's like, out. It's like, you don't really need to know that. Just keep asking the ladies. They'll keep explaining it.
The ladies that she asks.
The ladies.
Too funny. Okay. All right. Anything else, you guys? This is really great feedback so that we can give you guys really good content.
And there's still like a couple people that weren't able to make this call. So this is even a bigger group. I mean, I'm just so pumped at the faces and the energy. It's just so exciting to be a part of something really so cool. Like knowing that you're helping other people like just become badasses is, excuse me, kids, sorry. I'm going to think they're babies. They don't understand me, but sorry if there's other ears around. Tell them it's the weird lady on the other line. Just earmuffs.
Yes. All right. So next week, you guys, we will put a post up a little bit earlier, probably Wednesday night, letting you know what the topics are, what you need to bring, because you can count on an hour and 15 minutes, but some of that is going to be you working toward talking to people. And we're going to get you using what we call a business activity tracker. It's called a BAT. I mean, old dogs still use them. I clearly have some work to do. My BAT is pretty empty, but it tracks my activity for the day. I've had a productive day, but I've got some work to do after this call. But we're going to teach you guys how to start tracking that so that your coach and your one-on-one can help you. If you're like, oh, I just tracked everything for a week and I actually see that I'm really good in this area, but I'm not really doing this. And it's like, okay, well, let's dig into why you're not comfortable there. So we're going to help you, and we are going to shepherd you and walk alongside you the whole month. And the cool thing is that you've got a Facebook group now. And if you are having a question, post it in there, because Juliet, Alicia, and I might not be available over Voxer, and you might need an answer immediately. Come post in this group. And like Juliet said, know that it's a safe place and that every single one of you is starting at the same place. So many of you are going to have the same questions, and you will box and question and ask your coach so much that you think you're bothering them. I promise you're never bothering us. Ever.
No, we love what we do. We love what we do, and we just want to help you get comfortable so you literally cannot ever annoy us. Ask Elise, because Elise thought she annoyed me for like 4 months. I'm like, no. She's like, I asked you. She's an attorney, so she even got like to the fine point of Beachbody. I was like, oh, I don't know those answers, but we'll find out.
I'll just ask the ladies. They'll tell me. Julie has a question real quick. I just wanted to grab that before we hung up.
Yeah, so I've been wondering about this for a few weeks now. I just started 10 Rounds, the new program. I'll be starting week 4 on Monday, and I really like it. Thank you. I really like it, and I'm almost afraid to like post about it too much because I don't know what it's like on I know it's like in the preview stages and like where it's like it's not out. So like I don't know how to approach that. Like if I push on it too much and then somebody's like, I want to do that, can a Joe Schmo that just wants to join now join it and buy it even though it's not like out?
Yep, that's
Yeah.
a VIP. Yep.
Yeah, the great news is anything that you present to people is going to include 10 rounds, right? Whereas before, like in when did it come out? I'm losing my mind. Like in February, like that wasn't available. It was Bar was the new one, right?
Right.
So the great news is Beachbody puts out so many programs all the time. And for a new customer, that challenge pack that they buy will come with the latest version. If
Okay.
you're an existing customer and you want to add on 10 rounds, you have to add that on. So if they just get a 3-month Beachbody On Demand subscription, it will not be included. They
Okay.
would need to buy a challenge pack or add that on. But that's where the questions come in. When you ask them,
Yeah.
okay, oh, I want to do that workout. Great. What do you like about it? Okay, cool. Here are the options with that program. And you can customize something. But yeah, I mean, promote. I think people want to see what you're doing, but that might not be their style. Maybe Bar is their style. Maybe the 21-day fix would be better. And that's, you don't have to have done every program. We've all done almost every program on this team. So hey, I got someone that has a knee injury. They need low impact. They need something that's only 30 minutes or less. What should I recommend? The great news is Beachbody On Demand has them all and you can direct them to the right place. So good question.
A perfect thing where you can go onto, like if you're a coach or no one's getting back to you in your team pages, that's why you can put it in here because there's so many other people and there's different levels and someone will get back to you.
Good
Thank
question.
you.
Yep. I think we're good. 9 o'clock on the dot. 9:04. Oh no, 9:04. Okay.
You had to be done by 9. You're in trouble, ladies.
Yes.
All right. This was awesome. We will see you guys next Thursday. Good luck. Can't wait to see all of your posts. I'm going to take some time out and comment on them. Have an awesome week, you guys.
And Quentin,
Thank
when
you.
I'm saying ladies, I'm meaning Tracy and Alicia, not ladies as a whole. I don't want you to feel left out.
If I can be a part of this group, it's fine. Call me whatever you want. I don't
Happy
know.
birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank
Happy
you, ladies.
birthday.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.